So when I pick up sticks with traditional, by default, if I'm just at my most relaxed state, this stick is going to point down. That's because I haven't engaged my muscles yet to, supinate to point the stick up. The stick height comes from supination, rotation of the hand this direction. And why does the stick point down at our most relaxed? Well, because when we came up with traditional, we were playing drums on a sling, and we needed the stick to face down. But now these days, most of us play on flat drums, so that means by default, we have to supinate our hand a little bit just to play like a tap. To play something at our lowest stick height, our hand is already supinated. Kind of the downside of that is that means to get our max stick heights, we have to supinate a lot, like more than we would if we were playing on a tilted drum. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. For some people, it feels uncomfortable to do a lot of supination like this, and it's something we have to get used to. And I think a lot of people compensate by using more arm in their left hand. So they'll supinate a comfortable amount, and then to get the rest of the stick height hinged from the elbow. Downside with this is if one hand can achieve the height just with wrist, and the other hand has to use arm to achieve the height, you're going to get a different sound because there's different amounts of weights, right? If I'm hinging from back here with my right hand, all the weight on this side of the lever is going into the drum. But if my left hand is hinging from back here, that means all the weight on this side of the lever is going into the drum. Think about using two different sized or different weighted mallets on a marimba. It would sound different, right? It's the same concept. So we want to have an equal wrist to arm ratio with both of our hands while we're playing. So that means for a lot of us who play flat traditional, we just have to get used to supinating a lot. Or we have to add arm to our right hand as well to match that arm we're adding in our left hand when we can't achieve a height with pure supination. But here's the thing. These are solutions to a problem that is already solved. Just play on a tilt. When I play on a tilt, every little bit of supination that my hand does results in a greater stick height. So I can achieve my max dynamic with only about this much supination. So if I want to play, like 12 inches or more, I can do that with just my wrist and get an even sound from hand to hand with supination. I could add arm to that and get even more. But when I'm adding arm, I'm not having to add more arm in one hand than the other. So when I'm doing that on flat, it does feel a little bit more awkward because I'm feeling myself have to supinate more than when I'm playing tilted. So my opinion is that when you have the option to, you should play on a tilt if you're playing traditional. That's just my opinion. The other thing I believe in, so for concert percussion, if I walk into a gig and the drum is tilted, I'll just play traditional. Or if I'm playing concert bass drum, I'll just play traditional. If the drum's flat, I'll play matched. I think both techniques are very important to know for different scenarios. I think as it applies to marching battery, for visual uniformity, most people choose to do flat, and that's perfectly okay. I'm not saying every battery out there should tilt their drums just because of what I have to say on this topic. But I do think it's valid. The marching groups that decide to tilt their drum, there is a reason they do that, and there's pedagogy behind that, and I believe that's great too. So that's my little rant on flat traditional versus tilted traditional. If you have any thoughts, comment down below. I'd love to hear them.